Hello everyone, it's Christine from Christine Stamping Spot back with you for today's Mystery Monday video. And happy early Halloween. It's Halloween tomorrow, which is one of our favorite holidays. I used to love it as a kid and I love it now and my kids love it. It's just such a fun time. And I realized I hadn't actually played with a lot of the Halloween product in the mini. So I dug out the Bag of Bones suite, which is in the mini, and you'll find it on page 48 and 49. And I just wanted to show you a few pieces of this suite. So this is the bundle, the Bag of Bones stamp set and the dies. These little glow-in-the-dark bats and ghosts, I believe, are sold out. And then we have some glow-in-the-dark paper that we're going to try to work with today and see how that goes. And then you have this really fun designer paper. So I know Halloween is tomorrow, but maybe for next year, right? So I just wanted to show you some of the product there. So this is the stamp set of 23. And these are the dies. Like, oh my gosh, do you believe it? There are so many dies. So you've got like your skeleton, and you've got, this is crazy, you've got these little hats that you can accessorize. So cowboy hat, a fedora, a top hat, there's a guitar, some cowboy boots. You've got some dress shoes, all kinds of little things you can dress up your ghost as. I think there's even a lady's hat in here somewhere. Yes, I'm not sure where that is right now, but you can make your ghost a lady ghost. There's the fence, the dog, the cat. So lots of possibilities for creativity with these dies in this stamp set. So this is the glow-in-the-dark paper. I apologize for any sort of shadows here. I believe you get 8 of them in a package. And it's 6 by 6. And it's a little more, I'd have to say the texture is a little more coarse. It's kind of granular almost. And the thing I have to tell you about with this paper, first of all, it's not white, as you can see against my placemat. It's kind of almost a vanilla greeny type. And also, we're going to emboss on here. Now, this paper is a magnet for embossing powder. So the one tool I hope you have is your embossing buddy, because that will really help to keep the embossing powder from flying everywhere. Or even just cut your pieces, you know, the same size as the die that you're going to cut them out, because that way you'll save the rest of your paper, because literally, like, it can just breathe in this embossing powder. It was crazy, especially when you're using black like we're going to do today. I have seen some demonstrators use different colors of embossing powder, like silvers and golds. There was one sample I saw where she used Christmas lights, and she stamped the lights in different colors of ink and then embossed it with clear embossing powder, so the colors still showed through, and they seemed to still glow a little bit too. So that was kind of another fun option. So you can use it, I guess, for more than just Halloween. And this is the amazing designer paper. So I had to look at this a couple times, because when I first looked at this particular pattern, I thought, oh, kind of a herringbone. But then there's all these cats in here looking at you. So there's a bunch of cats. This one has like boo and different words in the orange. You've got some more sort of cats and herringbone type of thing, or houndstooth. Here are some bats. This one literally has bones to form the pattern. And then this is a really fun plaid that you could use for fall, maybe even for Christmas. Lots of options there. And then the other side is where all the patterns are. So you've got this with all the different crypts and things and headstones. Different colors too, like you've got some Cajun craze and some misty moonlight and pool party in there. Kind of a few different colors happening. You've got these crazy skeletons dancing. And then you have this sort of striped kind of diagonal sort of pattern going on. Almost looks kind of 3D. And then these fun little skeletons and cats and dogs. So with this page, what's interesting is your skeleton die will cut out the skeleton here. The dog that's in there will cut out the dog. So they do coordinate with this paper, which is awesome. And the cat will also cut out. So you can just sort of cut those out and save yourself some time from stamping if you don't want to. Just cut out those images from the DSP. That's just a really great little perk of some of these DSPs that we have now. Okay, so you've got these dancing skeletons, and then you have this page, which is great because you have your panels already here. You just have to cut them out, and they can be the base or on top of the base of your card. And then this one is fabulous. This is the one we're going to use today. It makes six layers. You just cut them 4 by 5 1/4, and some really fun little, Ricky D. Bones, rest in peace, Jack-o'-lantern, Tom, or Toom, different little funny sayings. So some really fun paper again. That's one thing with their designer paper. They always seem to knock it out of the park. Okay, so the card we're going to make today is similar to this one. And I have a couple of other samples that I'll show you after. To start, we are going to use a piece of Starry Sky as our base because I believe it's one of the colors in the designer paper. Kind of, the top of the sky here. Kind of a nice sort of royal purple. And then I did cut one of those panels, this rest in peace Jack-o'-lantern, and that's going to be our layer. Now before I attach that, I just want to add some things on top. So one of the first things I cut out was the picket fence. So I cut this out with the die on the glow-in-the-dark paper, and I did put some adhesive sheets on the back just to make it easier. And when you look at this, you just have to kind of see on the pickets here where they line up. So I think this one lines up kind of like that, and it'll cover the pattern underneath. And you've got a piece sticking over, but you know what? I'm going to kind of leave that because it makes it look like the crypt is sort of recessed a little bit. And then we have one on this side. So I'm just going to take this adhesive sheet off. The first time I did this, I did not use adhesive sheets. I just used the Tombow, which works as well. You can do that. So we're just going to kind of line this up over that printed image as best you can. Like you may have a few shadows peeking through, but that's all right. And just give that a little press. You've got a little bit sticking over the edge, but that's not a really big to-do. Okay. And then we will do this one. Now this one does not need the whole fence. So we just have to kind of figure out where this lined up. So this one's kind of thick, so it might be like this one. No, this one here. Yeah, I think that's pretty close. No, it's not right. This is where my eyes do not always they kind of deceive me once in a while, but I think that's not too bad. Kind of like that, or can I use this end here? I probably could. I think I will, and I'll just cut this where this picket, this next slat starts. So I'll keep this for another project. This one I will peel off. Now it's kind of hard to tell back from front, so if it's not coming off one, flip it over and try the other side. Okay, so I think we want it to go like this, or like, no, I think we want the rounded pieces on top. Okay. It's just because I'm being a little particular. You know, you don't have to do this part if you don't want to. That's fine. I just thought, let's see if this will glow in the dark. Okay, so there's our fence. And then I wanted to add a moon up here. So I just cut this out. I still had my old 1 3/8 circle punch, but you could do whatever size moon you want. So this is that glow-in-the-dark paper. So we are going to stamp on here, and I'm going to use my embossing buddy. Okay, so on this block, I mounted Boo to You and a little, oh, I did have a bat. He fell off. Let me put him back on. I had a bat. That's from the stamp set. There we go. We'll just put him underneath. Okay. So I'm going to stamp that in my old Versamark pad. Excuse my head here. Okay. Oh, which side is the embossed side now? Oh, this one, I think. Okay. So sprinkle that black on and really give it a good flick. Okay, so that's not bad. It did pick up a little bit of the powder on the edges, but you know what? It's a Halloween card. I'm not too worried. It'll be fine. So let's get that out of the way, and then we're just going to heat set that. So give me 1 second. Does get very hot. So here you can see hopefully that it's a little bit shiny, right? So that tells you that the embossing is good. If you see any sort of dull kind of spots or matted spots, that means your powder hasn't quite set. So just take your heat tool and go over that a little bit and make sure this is cool before you put it on. So you know what? I think while we're waiting just a second for that, I'm going to put this on the base. And then we can add these pieces to make our little card. Now, I'm not actually a big Halloween card selling, mailing person, but I know that like some of this paper and stuff is great for scrapbooking or for making little treat bags or tags and things. So there's lots of things you can do with the Halloween sweets other than cards. So I know I did scrapbook a lot of my kids' Halloween pictures when they were little, and I still have a ton left to do. But, there's other things you can do if you don't do Halloween cards for sure. But I just thought this will give you a little taste of what's in the suite. All right, so this guy should probably be cool enough. So I am just going to put him up here. There are a couple of bats on here already, but I'll just put it up there. Now, I pre-did our little skeleton dude and the dog. So I think we are going to put our skeleton on this side. And I do want to pop him up with some dimensionals, which could be tricky because he's pretty skinny, pretty bony. I don't know if these are all gonna fit, and we might have to trim some of these little ones just to anchor them on a couple of his bones here. And if you don't, get it on all of them, that's not a big to-do, as long as there's something that is kind of holding it down. And there are some, sometimes I just cut these edges here of the sheets, and I use these little straight edges. If they fit is the question. If they're not too wide, you might have to trim them down a little. But they're all, usable pieces, so you may as well. use them. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Okay, come on, guys. Cooperate here. Okay. Oh, dear. Let's see some of them. If they're going to stick or not. Maybe I didn't have the backing off. Huh. That would be why. There we go. When they get to be so tiny, right? Oh my goodness, I think we need mini dimensionals for some of these really tiny projects. Maybe we'll just put one little one in his hand here. Let's see. Might fit just by itself. Might stick out a little, but you know what? That's fine. I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so let's try to find all the backings here. Okay, so let's put our little skeleton dude on here. Now, I didn't accessorize him with boots or hats or anything, but you definitely have that option with the dies. And then we'll add our little pooch here, or his little companion. This is too big on his head. Should be okay. Just really to anchor it down. Hopefully it'll hold by itself. And we will put him maybe here, walking to his friend, and then we can still read the greeting. So there you go. Our Boo to You Happy Halloween card. He's kind of fun, hey? All right, so I'm just going to show you another sample, and then we will see if these work. So this is one very similar, except I sort of reversed the skeleton, and I did a bigger moon out of that glow-in-the-dark paper, embossed a bat. I embossed Happy Halloween in the black and cut that apart, and then I used the cat instead of the skeleton. So should we give this a whirl and see if it actually works? I just have to close a couple of windows and lights. So give me 1 second. And we shall see if this works. Oh, I see something glowing. Do you see it glowing? All right, so this is the one I just did. You can definitely see the fence, a little bit of the dog and the skeleton, and definitely the moon. And then this is the other one with the Happy Halloween and the big moon. Here I think you almost see the skeleton a little better with the fence. Yeah, I don't know if that depends on how it gets cut out with the die, but I mean, you can't see it, right? And maybe it's one of these things, the longer it sits out in the daylight, when you actually shut off the lights, maybe it tends to glow a little bit more, but it does work. Look at that. So cool. There you go. That's how the glow-in-the-dark paper works. Now, the only other sample I had was this one. This was my first attempt, and I tried to do a shaker card. So with this crypt here, and I put a bunch of the bones inside. And these aren't, excuse me, glow-in-the-dark paper. This is just from the designer paper that I cut out with the dies, and I just stamped the Happy Halloween. Or no, I think did I emboss it? No, I think I just stamped it on white. Yeah, and then used a die to cut that out. So there are your little Halloween cards and greetings. So again, you know, they would be fun just in a scrapbook page, or just even if you cut off the front, maybe like in a photo album with some of your Halloween photos, you could, you know, add this little frontage here. There's lots of different things you can do as, with these little Halloween fun guys. So I hope you all have a great Halloween tomorrow. Be safe. I hope you have cute little kitties coming to your door, and have fun if you're going out with your children tomorrow. And we will see you back here next week. Bye for now, everyone.